Welcome to another episode of AZ in the Circle. Today we have in the circle with us Katie Hendrickson, a George Washington University signee. We're super excited to have her here at 1010 Studios in Gilbert, Arizona. So Katie, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. It's great to be here.
Yeah, excited to have you. So you just finished up fall ball with Athletics Mercado 18U, and how was that?
It was great. Had a nice 6-week stretch there, but it was
Six
really
weekends
fun.
of tournaments?
Yeah.
That's good. And then during that time, you had the opportunity to have your National Letter of Intent Day where you got to sign. And tell us about that day.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was completely normal. I went to school the whole day and got home and I set up my table and decorated it and invited all my teammates and friends and family. Just signed it. It was really cool.
It was good. And then the event lasted maybe about, hour and a half. People came over. Yeah. And then one of your teammates drove all the way up from Tucson.
Yeah.
She drove like 3.5, 4 hours for an hour and a half. How'd that make you feel that they wanted to be there for your moment?
Yeah, it made me feel really special because I feel like, on a lot of teams, the girls aren't as close-knit as they are on this team. And it made me feel really happy that, someone took the time out of their day to come and experience this next step of my life with me. So
That's
really
good.
cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, fall ball's done, and you got your senior year coming up. You're in your senior year, and you got your senior season coming up at Phoenix State Country. And you were all region last year, first team. And what are you looking forward to as far as that goes?
I'm really excited. It's a big year for me. I'm chasing some school records and a bunch of different accolades, so it's really fun. School ball is a little bit different from club. It's less intense, which is nice because then I get a break from all the intensity, but I love my coaches, love my teammates. We're all just out there to have fun, so I'm looking forward to a very fun and exciting year.
Yep. Speaking of fun and exciting, I had a chance to talk to your coach at George Washington a few days ago before this interview, Coach Schoonemaker. Is that how you say her name?
Yeah.
And she said that one of the things she likes best about you is how aggressive you are at the plate, being that many of the first pitch strikes that you get, you tend to hit them from gap to gap, if not over the fence. And in your last at bat, in the fall season, I guess that is your last at bat.
Yeah.
I don't know if you realize that in club ball, your last at bat for a fall season
I didn't even think of that.
was against Mojo.
Yeah.
And you hit a no doubter over the right field fence. How'd that feel?
Yeah, it really felt great. I mean, off the bat, I kind of just knew that it was gone, and
We got a video.
Yeah.
You got the video of you raise your hands and you're like, it's gone. But lo and behold, it was your last at bat for fall season. So speaking of that intensity, you guys had a pretty intense fall season, 6 weekends in a row, 4 different states from what I understand. What were some of the best memories from that fall season that you remember? Or come to the top of your head.
Yeah.
No pressure.
I love Texas. It was our first tournament as a team. And back then I didn't really know how good we would be. I always knew that we were going to be solid, but I think in Texas it was really an eye-opener because, we were just out there destroying teams and just having a great time all the time, and it was really fun.
Yep, from what I understand, there's a great chance. I think you guys are ranked in the top 20 18U in the country.
Yeah.
And so that could set you up for when the brackets get announced for the Alliance Championship Series in Indiana, Kokomo, Indiana, in the end of July. You guys could be competing in the top tier. But I think what I like about that tournament too is you can also be in the other bracket and work your way into the top tier.
Yeah.
So one way or the other, it's going to be a fantastic run. And do you look forward to that summer intensity to finish strong, or is that a good preparation? How do you see it? You like the intensity? You like it because it gets you ready for college? Tell me about that.
I think I like everything. I love the intensity. I like preparing for college, but I also like just spending time with all my teammates before I leave. It's a big summer for me. It's my last summer playing club, so I'm just hoping to go out there and have as much fun and win as many games as I possibly can before I leave.
That's good. That's good. I wanted to talk about your recruitment journey. Okay, what was your overall take on it now that you're a senior and this started. Your September 1st came 2 years ago. What was first of all, your overall take on it?
I mean, recruiting is hard. Recruiting is very hard. Sending all the emails constantly, like 30 emails before a tournament, and going to camps and making film to send to coaches. My recruitment journey was very different from other people's. It was hard on me mentally too, because I didn't get as much notice as I thought I would. But recruiting's hard. It's going to be hard for many people.
Now, a word from our sponsor, Pure Green Juice Bar in Tempe, Arizona. It's located off of Mill and 3rd Street, just behind Daily Jam. They are big supporters of ASU softball, so much so that they're offering 10% off any smoothie if you go get juiced up before the game. So pre-game at Pure Green Tempe, 10% off any smoothie in the house. And then when the Sun Devils win, for the next 24 hours, you get 15% off anything on the entire menu. So go Devils. And remember, whether that's a home game or an away game, anytime they win, you get 15% off the entire menu. They got great acai bowls. In the morning, they got great avocado toast, great different things. So, hey, Pure Green Tempe. And or you're just looking to play at the next level, whatever level that, because there's all kinds of, if you make it to the next level at any level, at D2, at D1, at NAIA, at D3, it's pretty much, you're pretty lucky, pretty fortunate. You're one of the elite to make that happen. I did have a chance to, I talked to your parents about your recruiting journey, and they said something about a pivot that you decided to do in August. Can you mind explaining that?
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's every little girl's dream to go play at that big Power 5 school, your dream school. And for me, that was my goal. I wanted to play at the big Power 5 schools. And in August, I kind of realized that as much as I was getting some attention from these schools, it wasn't enough. So I had to make the decision on my own to kind of get a reality check and say, well, it would be great if I could play at these schools, but I need to look at the next level. And with that, my dad saw a camp at George Washington, and we kind of just went, and it worked out from there.
And it's probably genius that you did it before September 1st, because I think I've heard stories where same situation happens, and then the girls afterwards realize, wow, I didn't really get those Power 5 attention like I should have. And then they go and try to market themselves to the other mid-majors that are awesome. And they find themselves kind of a little bit on the outside in, because players like yourself and other players that had actively tried to recruit themselves to those schools, those coaches already had an eye on them. So do you think it was critical that you did it before September 1st instead of after September 1st?
I think that, especially with George Washington, they start their recruiting process a little bit later than others. So, I mean, their camp was placed perfectly. It was September 2nd to September 3rd, and it was just a perfectly placed camp for me. But I think that if I had made my pivot later, maybe in December or something like that, I wouldn't have. I would have been way more stressed out than I was in September.
Yeah. And then you went to camp, and then was it the very next day, or was it a couple months later, or was it after, when did that offer come, and what kind of relief did you feel? Tell us a little bit about from when you went to camp until when you got the offer.
So I went to the camp. It went great. She would pull me aside and, ask me when I was playing. And a couple weeks later, my old team, we were going to California, Huntington Beach, and I'd emailed her because I knew the camp went well, and I sent her my schedule and everything that one does. And after the tournament, I had a great weekend, one of the best weekends of my life. But we're driving back from California, and it was maybe 10 o'clock at night. And I got a text from the coach at George Washington, and I was like, Dad, guess who just texted me? But we were chit-chatting for a while over text, and then one night she asked if she could call me, and obviously I said yes. And that's when it wasn't, I was actually on my way to practice and I had to pull over on the side of the road.
That's smart. That's smart.
Yeah. And she basically said, you know, we'd love to have you. We have to crunch the numbers, but we would love to have you on our team. We can see you as a great player on this team. And I got back that night from practice and she called me again. And we discussed scholarship money and numbers and stuff like that. I asked her any questions I needed to. And she basically just said, let me know what you think. And then the next day I had...
Wait. So then that happens. And at what point you were driving to practice, was the next call to your dad or after practice, or how did that come down?
Once I hung up on the phone with her, I started driving away to practice and I called my mom. It was either my mom or my dad. And I remember just saying, like, Mom, Dad, they offered me a scholarship. And my mom was jumping up and down and crying.
That's
and
great.
It was a great moment.
Great moment. That's awesome. So then, okay, continue. Then,
and then a couple days later, she texted me. She was like, let me know what you think. And I was on my way to a hitting lesson. So I asked to call her after my lesson once I got home. And I called her, hey, I would love to play for you and your team. And, you know, and there's no better place to go than D.C. It's the best place in the world. So it was kind of like a no-brainer for me, like, great school, great academics, but also great athletically, and it gives you all the opportunities you could ever ask for. So it was pretty much a no-brainer for me that's where I wanted to go.
That's awesome. What about DC academic-wise, were you interested in studying before, or now that you knew you were going there, you're like, well, what do they have? Or tell me a little bit about that.
I always knew I wanted to do something with, like, business, sports management. I knew I wanted to stay in sports, because I just love the whole sports kind of world. But the fact that you got the Washington Nationals right there and the Washington Commanders, you know, so many chances for an opportunity there to go into a career that I want, especially at least like not in a place like Montana.
Okay.
You know,
Yep.
Like DC is just, and you could do anything you want there. You could do sports, you could do law, you could do political science. You just have so many chances for opportunities there.
That's awesome. And now that you're at this point in your career, about to go on to college, we're doing I think it's going to be a cool series where we take different years. You're 2 years out, then we'll interview somebody that is 1 year out. Maybe it's 3 years away. Maybe it's a freshman in college, a sophomore in college. And I want them to go back and, hey, if you could talk to your younger self when you were a sophomore going into that, I guess when you're on the clock. You know, right now the class of 2026 is on the clock, right? Well, for their September 1st. What would you tell your younger self, knowing what you know now, back then?
I think that I tell myself to relax, you know, whether you commit September of your junior year or February of your senior year, you know, it's all going to work out the way that it should. And there are thousands of colleges in the U.S., thousands, and there is a place for everyone, you know. And whether you want to go to the West Coast, East Coast, Northwest, whatever region of the country, there's a place for you. So I think just relax. Everything will work out the way that it should, and pretty much just trust the process.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, Katie, thank you for coming on our show today, AZ in the Circle, Arizona Softball Podcast. And thank you, our producer over there, Casey Kendall with 1010 Studios. And if you felt like you like the show, we'd love to earn your subscription, earn your like. So whatever that means down below. I always hear people say, hey, go click down below and subscribe. But thank you again for watching.